Okay, this is a crazy little bit of silliness that I'm about to try for about 20 minutes on this rather unsuitably cold and bright day, although it is now duskish. As you can tell from my gear that I'm trying my best to break and drop, as you can tell, I'm going to be targeting the perch. I was going to use a Ned rig, take off this this drop shot rig and try the Ned rig, but instead what I'm going to do instead is I was going to chuck out these deli bought anchovies, which we were enjoying till the other day, and they're a bit past their best. I was going to chuck them out, and I thought, what happens if you drop shot those? These are not the anchovies from a can that taste incredibly strong and you get on pizza and are delicious. These are deli bought ones. They're less strong, they're little fillets, and I'm sort of looking forward to giving them a go. I'm sure nothing will happen, but you never know. I'm going to take off my little drop shot soft lure and try a little bit of anchovy goodness. I can smell the vinegar. They're kind of pickled, really. So let's try chucking that in where I think the fish are most likely to be, just down here. Right. So it could be a very empty video. Most likely to be an empty video. If I don't get a bite in 20 minutes or so, I might just try proper drop shotting. I think by then it'll be too cold and dark for me to Ned rig it, given that I'm not a dedicated follower of fashion. See, I really should finish my sentences, shouldn't I? It's one of the most annoying habits. I've got all this excellent footage and then I trail out in the end of a little bit instead of finishing the sentence. The trouble is, you've got to think about the fishing and think about what you're saying, and I quite often just stop thinking about what I'm saying and trail off because I'm busy thinking about fishing. So what I should do is describe what I'm doing. I'm just doing that lifty thing that you do with drop shotting. So you've got a long lead which can either rest flat on the bottom or be upright. So without clanking it around on the bottom, in theory you should be able to jiggle the lead, the lure, a distance of about that much, or the length of the lead. The fact is the bottom is quite stony here, so it can roll from one place to another. Also, it's now got so cold recently that it could be that the fish are no longer here. This is a lovely eddy, exactly the sort of place you might expect to find perch, underneath this mat of vegetation down here, which you can sort of see. It has been bigger, you've seen that in previous videos. But it could be that the deepest water is over there, sort of underneath the charging mass of current, where it's about 12 foot deep. So it could be that the fish have all gone there. Okay, let's try a little deeper area here. It's a little bit deeper here. And actually we've got a bit more still water, although that does vary. Right, there we go, that's on the bottom. Or is it? No, it is now. Oh, bloody hell, that's a fish. That is a fish. It's a trout, I think. What have I done with the net? I've left the net up there, obviously, because I'm an idiot. So it is a trout. That's a nice trout. Let's hand land it. Come here. Come here. Right, well, you are not the intended target, but you are beautiful. Look at that. Look how easily that unhooked itself. That's a lovely trout. Yeah, beautiful spotty trout. Back you go. There we go. And off you swim. Well, that was quite surprising. Wasn't expecting that on anchovy, but it shows that the anchovy is not utterly unattractive to fish. Now I just need a fish that fights as hard as that and isn't a trout or a pike and is a perch. Beautiful evening. I mean, beautiful and cold. Come on, perch. Maybe like with mackerel fillets and bluey fillets, I should hook them at the tail end rather than the fan. Maybe it's less flaky at the tail end and therefore stronger. Give that a go. Okay, let's try it up here. Just right by the wall. It doesn't seem to be deeper. Yep. Oh, what was that? Piece of weed. Didn't really feel like, well, didn't really, there might have been indications that it was a fish. There also might not. It might just have been a branch starting to move. Difficult to tell. Right, let's try it in the tail end now with my useless fingers doing their best. Right, come on. They're going to smell very anchovy-y after this, although obviously I'll wash them. Have no fear. Right, okay, let's try that again. Same sort of place. Just right down in, not out there, in about there. And then, what's that? What the fuck is going on? It's another fish. It's another trout. So there are clearly a shoal of trout down there. Okay, right. So that's why I didn't strike that, because they just sort of came and just went, oh yeah, I think I'll eat this. Very gentle biting. So I think that other take was a fish, because it felt exactly like that, which clearly was a fish because it was thrashing around on the surface. Oh, come on, Ben. Useless fingers. This is a delicate bait. Just rub the oil in. It's good for your hands, you know. All that fish oil. Very good for your hands. Right. Although this is clearly a good place for fish, I'm not after any old fish. I'm after perch, and I'm certainly not after trout because it's the wrong season. There's an awful lot of this dead, it's not even dead actually, grassy root that's just getting in the way. How could you have done that? How could you just, no, I don't want more out there. Just fuck off, thank you. Now it's going to come around and do it again. Ben Evelyn complaining about the natural factors that make this bit of fishing so good. Yup, what kind of an idiot is he? Because the other thought about there being trout, about where the trout were, is it could be that there are lots of fish shoaled up there. The trout are just getting to the bait first. In the past, when there's been less current down this near bank, and I fished bread in the depths of winter, either with a ledger more or less straight down here or a float just here, I have caught trout and other species, so it's entirely possible this is one of the places that they hang out. in the depths of winter. One more chuck, or maybe two. Maybe I should try smaller bits of this rather than trying to get it to look like a drop shot bait flapping around in the current. Maybe I should just have it a little chunk of it, so that they have to get the bait, they have to get the hook. I mean, the other thing I could do is I could use elastic to hold these on the hook, and that is for what was basically a kind of fairly amusing little test trial thing with some old food that I was about to chuck away. Then becomes, on the other hand, maybe that's how you turn little trials into proven fish catching techniques. You hone them, you refine them. Right, I'm going back where the trout were, and I'm going to hope that there aren't any more that are hungry enough to take this, and that the perch, which are definitely there as well, will get a chance to take it. God, wouldn't it be great? Imagine what it would be like if I caught a 2-pound perch now. I mean, I can sort of imagine. I am imagining. That is what is making, one of the things that's making me stay out here. Okay. Yeah, another trout. Okay, so the troutiness of this is now entirely proven. Come here. Oh, come on. Not very good netting technique. Right, now let it go downstream into it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, look at that. Probably the biggest of the three. A lovely trout. Yeah, lovely. Okay, let me take my gloves off and then unhook you. Right, back you go. Okay, well, let's do it the approved way. There we go. Back down you swim. Right, that is it. 2 trout on anchovy, amusingly.